Hello guys, Adam here. In this video, I will review the Michel Thomas method. In particular, I'll be reviewing the Michel Thomas French method. There are some things to be noted before we proceed. Michel Thomas created many courses, but not all of the courses that you see on his name are created by him. Number 2, Michel Thomas creates multiple courses for a single language. I saw the reviews and they never mentioned this, so this is just keep in mind. I was surprised. Okay, there isn't a course for a single language. There are actually multiple courses and they are different from each other. I will talk about it much more in detail. Next will be, first I will talk about what Michel Thomas method is. Then I'm gonna explain how it works. This is where I will go deeper into how different courses for French in particular works, and after that I will tell you guys about the pros and cons of Michel Thomas method, and then I will show you guys the expectations versus reality. Basically, I want to give you guys the right expectations when you guys do this course, how far it will take you, how much it will help you, and what are the limitations. So it is very important. And finally, I'm gonna tell you guys for whom this course is actually right for. It might be above your level, it might be below your level. So who this course is right for, I will talk about it in detail. So without waiting further, let's get started. So what is Michel Thomas method? Michel Thomas method is basically an audio course. It is an audio book. It is available on Michel Thomas on website. You can download the Michel Thomas app, use it on your phone. And it's also available on audio bookstores like Audible. And finally, there are also physical copies of it, which are basically which is basically CDs with audio. With all of the courses, there is a physical copy or a PDF version of the book, which you can download and study. It has all the vocabulary and sentences, but the main teaching actually happens in the audio book. This PDF booklet is a supplementary thing. Once you study the audio book, you are supposed to check the booklet, the PDF booklet, or if you have physical copy, you are supposed to check that. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing to visually see the information too. Now, this thing took me by a very big surprise. When I started studying Michel Thomas, I wanted to buy its courses. I realized that he doesn't have us one course for a single language. He has multiple courses for a single language. For French is one of the languages which Michel Thomas himself made, and has most amount of courses. It has the largest variety of courses available. And when I went through these different courses, I realized that not all courses are the same. They were not according to use and that's because I came to a conclusion that these reviews and blogs that were given for Michel Thomas, they actually studied only the foundation course, or some even quickly ran through it just to give a review. And in the end, they thought that maybe all the courses Michel Thomas made, they are all the same. All the courses for that language that Michel Thomas made, they are all the same. So this is what they thought, and that's why they made a review like this, that it's for the entire course. But that is actually not the case. Not all the courses of Michel Thomas are the same. And I'm going to talk about this in more detail. You know what, let's just talk about it. Let's see how it works. Alright, let's take a look at how these courses work and how different they are. In the beginning, I will start from the most basic beginner course, and then I'm gonna advance to more advanced, and then the final course is basically the most advanced course. So the first one you will see is Start French. Don't buy this course. This is basically the foundation course, which is the course above it. It's basically a small sample of a Michel Thomas course, and they made it into they called it a Start French course. If you want to use Michel Thomas courses, skip with the Start French. Directly go to foundation course. Everything in Start French is actually included in the foundation course. Now let's talk about the foundation course. Foundation course. So this is the first main basic course. In this course, we see Michel Thomas in a classroom environment with two other students. Michel Thomas, you will be a third student on your phone or computer, wherever you are listening. Michel Thomas will teach them French language. he's gonna ask them questions after teaching, and before they can respond, we are supposed to pause the audio and answer the question. After that, you can double check your answer with them, and he teaches things like grammar and stuff. But the main part is at some point he's gonna ask a question. You will pause the audio, and then you will answer the question. And this is how this entire course goes through. He basically teaches the basic foundation of the language, and this course is all about the basics, how to make sentences. That's all about it. It's a grammar-based course. You will learn vocabulary, but there isn't much because it's mainly a grammar-based course. After this comes the Michel Thomas Language Builder course. So this course is very different from the foundation course. There are no students here. Only Michel Thomas will be speaking in this course. He's gonna teach you. He's gonna say things, and when he asks a question, you will pause the audio and reply with the answer. And then once you resume, you will double check the answer because Michel Thomas will say the correct answer after the question. And this is how the entire course works. This course is more dense than the previous courses, and is actually very difficult. I found it very difficult. The reason behind this is that this course mainly focuses on idiomatic French and idiomatic expressions. These are the type of sentences basically which cannot be translated into English directly. It will just not make sense. It's a very language specific things. These types of things. So this makes it difficult. To be honest, if you guys want to skip this, you guys can. Though, why should you skip it? Go ahead, do it. You will gain more knowledge. But what I recommend is not to do this course after foundation course. Do this course after advanced course. Hello guys, Future Adam here. While editing the video, I realized I made a big mistake. One of the courses, which is called Michel Thomas Intermediate course, I was actually calling it Michel Thomas Advanced course. There is not a single course named Michel Thomas Advanced course. But the reason I'm calling it Advanced course is because this is what I used to call them. I just noticed it while I was editing the video that I was actually saying that name wrong. Typically when I'm talking to people, I just call the intermediate course Advanced course. So that's why it was kind of a false memory in my head. But when I say Michel Thomas Advanced course, I actually mean Michel Thomas Intermediate course. Remember, Michel Thomas doesn't have any advanced course. Michel Thomas Intermediate course. I have just realized it after watching my video again that I was calling its name wrong all the time. There are only a few places where I say it correctly, intermediate course. Most of the time I say Michel Thomas Advanced course. So just know it's Michel Thomas Intermediate course. Alright, back to the main video. So foundation, skip this, go to the advanced course, and then once you are done with the advanced course, go with this course. So just a tip here, and another thing, it's shorter than the other courses, but don't underestimate it. It's very dense. The previous courses go at the foundation, and the advanced course go at a slower pace. This one goes at a very fast pace. Alright, so don't underestimate it. It's very dense with information. Next we have the intermediate course. It is the same as foundation course. There isn't any difference. The only difference is that he gives you more advanced grammar and some additional vocabulary. Now you need to understand something here. It is called advanced course, but I will not call it advanced course. I will call it more like an upper beginner French course. It's not an advanced course, it's an upper beginner French course. Another thing I found that while he put it in advanced course, he should have put those things in beginner course. I mean, those are also very basic things. I'm not sure why he did it, but there is that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's what the advanced course is. Let's go to the next one. Over here, I should note an important thing. These previous courses, they were all made by Michel Thomas. Michel Thomas himself participated in this. After this course, Michel Thomas never participated on these courses. It was made by some other teachers. So keep that in mind. All the main thing which people like, the main thing which people come from, those are the previous courses that I just mentioned. Later on, Michel Thomas never made a single course. Alright, so now let's go for the vocabulary course. So I was very surprised when I did this. While I really liked the previous courses, this course I didn't like at all. I was very I was thinking like how they will teach so many vocabulary in this short course, but it turned out that they actually didn't teach you every single vocabulary word. What they actually do is they help you guys that you in such a way that you guys can guess what vocabulary you guys can guess the vocabulary by yourself. So they are going to give few examples, and basically it's a kind of training which will give you the ability to guess vocabulary from English to French. So I will call this course French vocabulary guessing. Personally speaking, I did not like it at all. I hated actually this course. It just didn't work for me. If it worked for you, go ahead, tell in the comments. But for me, it didn't work. And in midway through these courses, I just left it finally. I was not going to go for it. It was, honestly, I considered it a waste of time. It was just not working even 1% for me. Now, there is something I want to tell you guys. They do tell some important things, how to guess vocabulary, but let me tell you something else too. When I was studying the main Michel Thomas courses, he already kind of gave tips how to guess vocabulary. And that was enough for me. These guys kind of take it into more advanced, but other than what Michel Thomas taught me, these other things that she was saying, I honestly was not interested in it. Basically, I didn't find it helpful. I'm gonna say this French, the Michel Thomas French vocabulary course, this has been the worst audiobook I have ever heard of. It was the worst course I ever did. So I didn't like it at all. If you guys liked it, tell me what do you guys think about it, but I don't like it at all. Alright, let's go to the next one. Okay, let's talk about the final course over here. It is basically Insider's French. This course basically for now I haven't done it. And it also to be kept in mind, it was also not created by Michel Thomas, but I do plan to do it, but just not now. Maybe later on I will do it. And there's the reason why. This Insider French is basically talking about street French that is spoken in street. In the beginning of language learning, I actually don't recommend learning street version of that language, whatever language it is, because people talk very differently. They use different types of idioms and things which will very easily confuse new learners. So before you can go for the before you can go to the colloquial version of the language, or simply a street version of that language, I suggest first advance yourself to a level that you can speak and understand proper written English or French or whatever language you are learning. Once you can properly read anything, then you can go ahead and study the street version of it. Just in the beginning, avoid it. It will clash and it will cause confusion. So please just keep that in mind. Alright, so these are all the courses for French particular. And now we will just go straight to the pros and cons. We will talk about pros first. The first pro will be Michel Thomas very quickly builds your grammar base in your target language. I was quite surprised by how quickly one can learn how the sentences work in your target language. Even when you do the foundation course, you will be able to make long complex sentences in past and present also. I mean in future and past also, not just present. And by the time you've done the advanced courses, you will be able to make even different versions of let's just say future tense, different versions of future tense. For example, there will be I'm going or I will go. Not just that, but things like I would have been there, I would like to go there if he was doing this, and sentences like this. Very quickly you will be able to make these type of sentences by the time you did advanced course. But there is a word of caution here. He goes fast, but he goes a bit too fast. Before you can continue on next part of the course or series, whatever, make sure to revise the previous material at least 3 to 4 times, because you are gonna forget it. He just goes too fast when he is teaching you grammar. So just keep that in mind. Revise a lot. Otherwise you will just forget it. All this hard work will be all this hard work will be in a way wasted. So please just revise a lot when you are learning grammar. Okay, so next pro will be, it's the least boring audio course so far I have studied. It's a classroom environment where people are studying, and people are talking and having conversation. Michel Thomas is having conversation with students. There are like sometimes people laugh and things like that. So it's a very lively environment. And other than the Insider French course, the other courses are in a classroom, and it's very big. So this is a very big plus in my opinion. It's the least boring one, and it just makes it easier for you to complete this course. So yeah, that will be the second biggest pro. The vocabulary Michel Thomas uses, the sentences Michel Thomas teaches in his courses are relevant to real life. It doesn't include sentences like cat is wearing a hat, such as on Duolingo, and the sentences he uses are relevant to real life situation. What different it can be, like from restaurant to home to other general conversations, but whatever it is, it's real, it's relevant, it's useful. And I believe when a course teaches you vocabulary and sentences, it should be relevant to real life, not just random things from here and there. And that's what I really like about it. Michel Thomas course is a grammar based course, but when you do this course, you realize that he rarely uses things like verb, noun, adjective, prepositions, things like that. But you don't know is that he actually talks quite a lot. He says things. He even made up some stories in there about how this word met with this word and they did this. You will be actually surprised about that. But all this talking he's doing, all these stories he's making, all these things he's saying, basically he is teaching you grammar. But you don't know that he is actually teaching you grammar. He is teaching you grammar in a very different way. The reason for this is that when majority of the students, when you talk about them, the word comes with the preposition, after the preposition, this preposition comes later, things like they get confused. It just doesn't make sense to them. So Michel Thomas has developed his own way of giving you this knowledge of grammar, but he doesn't use words like nouns and verbs. He just says lots of things and makes up situations, but all those are actually grammar. So pay attention to what he's saying. These are all actually grammar. This is all grammar, French grammar, or whatever your target language is. It's the grammar that he's teaching you, and I really like about it because it's something many learners will find it very easy to absorb. And teaching grammar in this way is a very big problem. Michel Thomas courses are not just grammar courses. He goes way beyond than just teaching you grammar. He mentors you. He gives you tips. He makes it that language learning becomes very easy for you. So all these tips and things, and he's gonna talk about a lot of things, and all this basically eases your journey into language learning. So it's not just a grammar course, it's also a language mentoring course, and mentoring is a very, very important part of language learning. It severely increases the speed and decreases the difficulty of language learning to new learners. So I really like this about Michel Thomas courses. Final pro will be that the Michel Thomas course comes with a small booklet or PDF. Depends if you bought it a physical copy or if you have bought a digital version. But whatever it is, it comes with a PDF or a booklet. You can read it. It is recommended whatever courses you do in Michel Thomas, whatever topics you have studied. When you finish the audio course, come back and look at the sentences in the booklet or PDF. It is very important that you also visually see these sentences and vocabulary, so you know that how they are correctly spelled. Alright, now we will talk about the cons. So here's the first con. This Michel Thomas course is not recommended for absolute beginners. If you are a complete zero, you have no idea how the language works, you are completely new to it, first go learn the ABCs, the absolute basic grammar and the very basic things. If you want to skip the grammar, yeah, sure, but do learn the ABCs, the vocabulary and things like that. And once you are able to pronounce the words in new language correctly, you master the sounds, the ABCs and the sounds, then you can proceed with the Michel Thomas method. The second con will be is that Michel Thomas has a strong accent. And when he teaches you French, in the French course, when he teaches you French, he himself says those words. So the sounds are just not 100% accurate. There are problems. He has a accent, and I don't like that part. So if you are very new, it might not actually matter to you. But personally, in many audio courses, and personally what I think is that a native speaker should be hired to say the target language. In this case, a French native speaker should have been hired to say the French sentences. Many courses do this, such as Paul Noble courses and many others. And Michel Thomas' accent, I just don't like it. He doesn't pronounce. I was already an advanced user when I studied Michel Thomas courses. I just didn't like his French accent. So it's a bit of it's not that big of a big deal, but it is a problem. And I think he should have hired a native French speaker. With that said, that's not the case with all languages. With languages like, for example, Arabic, there are actually two people teaching you. There's a teacher who speaks English, and then for the Arabic, there's a native Arab speaker. So then the situation becomes much better. But this is not the case with certain courses like French, and I believe Spanish and German are also like this. So there is that. His accent is a little problem in these courses. Alright, this is actually a big mistake a lot of people do. The third con is Michel Thomas course should not be used as the only main course to study your target language. It's a grammar based course. You need an immersion based course to supplement it. Otherwise you will get very little vocabulary and you will slow yourself down severely. So what should be the best course to supplement with Michel Thomas? That would be something like ASML course would be a very good course to supplement it. And there are lots of other immersion based courses. Whatever it is, just it should have lots of reading material and vocabulary. So what that type of course should be supplemented. So let's just say you pick ASML. So you do short snippets of Michel Thomas every day and a course of ASML, and combine them together. You are getting vocabulary and you are also getting grammar training. Just don't choose Michel Thomas alone, please. It will slow you down a lot. So Michel Thomas will teach you a lot of grammar. You will learn grammar very rapidly. But it is to be noted that it is not everything. It's not all the grammar. It is still, when you do his advanced course, it is still a upper beginner grammar. It's not all the grammar. So keep that in mind. When you are finished with Michel Thomas course, you will not be like B1 level or something like that in grammar. You will be in the upper beginner course. So I name it like this. The advanced course is upper beginner and the foundation course is a lower beginner. So just keep that in mind. His grammar is not everything. You will further need to buy a book. When you are finished with Michel Thomas course, you will need to buy a book and study the grammar properly. Next thing would be is that not all of his courses are great and things you are expected. His base course is the foundation and the advanced course. The other courses such as a language builder, it's not that bad, but if you want to skip it, I suggest actually you skip it. You do this course in a book, it will be just much better. I don't personally don't like that course. What it's called, the vocabulary course, the French vocabulary, Michel Thomas French vocabulary course, that I honestly hate it. I consider my time wasted. I studied about half of the course, and honestly I consider that time wasted. I didn't find it useful for me at all. So just know that not all courses are equal. The things that you have heard about and knew about, those are the first three, actually not the first three, only the two courses that you have heard, they are like that. The rest they may vary depending on your personal preferences. But the foundation and the advanced course, those are the best ones and really great. And you should do it. I strongly suggest you should do it, but don't expect the same result from other courses. So the next con will be, this one kind of ties with the previous one. If you want to learn grammar for educational purposes, for school, university, college, whatever, or any other test, I do not recommend Michel Thomas course. Please don't do it. Don't do it even a bit. Get a proper book, study it that is relevant to your educational material or relevant to their test. Use a book related to that. Please do not use Michel Thomas for educational purposes. Only if you are self-learning a language just so that you can speak it, sure, it's great. But do not use it for test and other educational material. Keep that in mind. Pricing is always kind of controversy. Some will say it's priced correctly, some will say it's higher, some will say it's cheaper. Me personally, I think it's priced higher. These courses should be much cheaper than they are currently. Misleading marketing. I can say this for lots of courses. Lots of courses over-exaggerate how much you will achieve after finishing it. So it's not just Michel Thomas. But Michel Thomas claims that you will be if you go to your website, you check, it says you will be at around B1 level. Here's the truth. You will be not even close to B1 level. You will be somewhere around a strong A1 or beginner A2 level. It really depends what you have been supplementing along with Michel Thomas courses. So don't buy into the thing there, to the marketing BS that you will be at B1 level. You will not be at B1 level. You will be at A1, strong A1 or beginner A2 level if you finish the advanced course. This includes the foundation course, the language builder course, and the third advanced course. If you finish these three courses, you will be at A1, strong A1 level or beginner A2 level, but nowhere near B1 level. In order to go to B1 level, you need tons and tons of lots of vocabulary, and without that you just cannot reach that level. It takes very long time to reach that B1 level. When I checked the reviews for this course, when I read details on Michel Thomas website, my expectation for this course was just very, very high. But after finishing it, it was just not the case. I realized it. Here is what you should expect. There is a grammar-based course, and when you finish it, in terms of grammar, you won't have much trouble when it comes to grammar in building certain structures. Here is where you will have trouble though. Lack of vocabulary. Hence, it is very, very strongly recommended that you supplement Michel Thomas with vocabulary-based learning courses that has lots of vocabulary, and it should be reading material. And SML is, for example, I am suggesting use SML. It's a very good course, and it will give you lots of vocabulary and supplement it with Michel Thomas. If you don't do that, you are slowing yourself down, and in the end you will be like at strong A1 or beginner A2 level. So you will never be near a B1 level. And don't expect that you will be speaking like super fluently when you finish it. You will still speak very slowly, you will think, but you will know how the sentence structures work. That will no longer be the question. So please, don't have wrong expectations. This course is not the be-all and all. It should be supplemented. And when you finish Michel Thomas grammar course, go out, buy yourself a proper grammar book. Use it to further enhance your grammar level. So, in other words, don't rely too much on Michel Thomas. It will quickly get your base, strengthen your base, but for further improvement, you will require a proper grammar book to go further. Who should use this course? Is this course right for you? Let's start from the beginning. If you are 100% beginner learning from the ABCs, then first do the ABCs, master the sounds, make sure you can pronounce the new words correctly in new language. Once you master the sounds in the ABCs, then go ahead, proceed with Michel Thomas Foundation course. And once you are done with the Michel Thomas Advanced course, go ahead and buy yourself a proper grammar book so you can further advance your grammar. And also, when you are doing Michel Thomas course, make sure you have another course which gives lots of vocabulary and immersion-based course like SML, for example. So keep that in mind. So if you can already read French, you can read anything in French. You can read all the sentences. You can read it slowly, but you can read the sentences, the ads, the books. Or you have studied French in school, you can read it but cannot speak or listen to it. Then this course is not for you. You need, basically what this means, if you can read anything in French, this basically means you already know French, the grammar and everything. It's already in your head. You just haven't trained on the speaking and the listening skills. And this is what you need to train yourself for. So there are specific courses, special courses which are designed for speaking and listening. You need to do those, not Michel Thomas. If you do Michel Thomas in this stage, you will just not learn much from it because you already know it. So you are learning French and you want to learn French grammar for school, university, colleges, etc. Well, let me tell you something. This course is not for that. This is for self-studying. This is to quickly build your basic grammar base. If you want to learn grammar for tests or schools or university, college, etc., you need proper grammar books that are designed for that. Please do not use Michel Thomas for academic studies. It will not help you properly. You need a proper grammar book to succeed. So this was the review of Michel Thomas course. I tried to cover everything about Michel Thomas here, but if I still miss something, please, or if you have any questions, just ask in comments, I will answer them. And that's pretty much it. If you like this video, feel free to press the like button because it tells YouTube that this video is useful. With that said, I will see you guys again.